Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's go ahead and get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are surging higher today, with S&P futures up 0.92%, Dow futures up 0.36%, and Nasdaq futures up 2.21%. Volatility has had a grip on tech stocks this week, with Nasdaq 100 falling at an all-time high of 11%. This morning's move veers back to risk on, with the dollar weakening and shares of Tesla up 5.7% in pre-market. One hot item for coming days will be the Treasury sales, with U.S. planning 3 debt auctions totaling $120 billion. The sales will test appetite for the safest debt after last month's poorly bid auctions sent shockwaves throughout global markets and short bets climbed to a record. Prospects of accelerating growth have caused a rise up in borrowing costs in recent weeks, raising the specter of inflation and unsettling tech stocks with long-term horizons. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen called these fears excessive on Monday, and rather that inflation was too low instead of too high. Over in Europe and Asia, markets also saw gains. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and they're continuing to show gains, which is nice. It's positive. They were up over 1% there for the longest time and been really trading in that area. It seems to be able to hold at near that 1% area, which is good. The Qs, they're up 2%, which is a nice positive move on their aspect. I'm a little concerned. I saw that, Europe opened up really strong, but they have recently sold off and they've paired some of their early morning gains. So I'm cautious today. I don't know if we're going to be able to hold this 1% and move higher, especially the tech stocks. The tech stocks in Europe, the tech stocks in Europe are not, showing the gains that we're seeing here in the pre-market. So I am a little cautious on that. You look at the Treasury yields; they've dropped down back to 1.53, so that is a positive. But I'm cautiously optimistic, but I don't know if we're going to be able to hold this 1% gain today.
Let's move into earnings to watch. So, Bill, what type of earnings are we looking at today?
Let's start off with Stitch Fix. This is ticker SFIX, Sam Frank India X-ray. The put volume was so heavy, and that's a really good indicator going into earnings. When you see elevated put volume, that's negative. You see elevated call volume, we can go either way, but elevated put volume is highly negative. And I saw Stitch Fix, having a high put volume yesterday. The straddle was priced for a $20 move. These guys delivered a 2-cent beat. They lost only 20 cents instead of losing 22 cents, but they missed on revenue. They lowered guidance. You see the stock is down, $15, down 22% or $15.52 this morning. This was not a good report from Stitch Fix. Casey Stores, on the other hand, that's ticker CASY, Charlie Apple Sam Yellow. They delivered a 7-cent beat, and they met the street's revenue estimates. Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker DKS, they delivered a 15-cent beat on higher revenue, and that was a real positive for Dick's Sporting Goods today. You look at the stock this morning on Dick's, and it is trading lower. It's down about 7%. The street was expecting a bigger beat on the revenue, is what I suspect is going on here. But, there's more earnings to come, and those are just a few I noticed this morning.
Well, let's talk about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements. What are we seeing as far as that, Bill?
Well, let's take a look at H&R Block. That's ticker HRB, Happy Richard Boy. They're priced for a 6.9% move when they released. One of its rivals lowered their guidance last month. This news could be a warning sign that the industry is in trouble, or could it be a positive sign that H&R Block has actually taken market share? What I noticed is the put-call ratio was, very positive. So, I'm kind of, optimistic on shares of H&R Block. Bumble, that's ticker BMBL, Boy Michael, Boy Larry. they're going to be releasing earnings tomorrow afternoon. Now, the straddle is priced for a 10% move. It's wide. This is their first report as a public company. My issue here is the stock is up 43% since the IPO. So is it going to be, did they make up that much new revenue inside of 3 months? I'm a little cautious on shares of Bumble, BMBL. Tupperware, they're going to be releasing tomorrow morning. Requires a little bit more review, but it's priced for a 16% move when they release tomorrow morning. They did refinance their debt, which is a positive for them in early December, so that could add to their revenue. But keep an eye on shares of Tupperware.
Well, let's move into our economic reports. Bill, what type of reports we seeing today?
Oh, the calendar is light today. We have at 8:55 the Johnson Red Book on retail sales, and that's it. You know, there's no Fed speak because it's kind of a blackout period ahead of the FOMC meeting that starts next week.
Okay, well, moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on DocGo. It's a provider of telehealth and medical mobility services that will be going public through a merger with Motion Acquisition. DocGo is expected to be listed on Nasdaq under the ticker symbol DCGO, with the companies at a combined value of $1.1 billion. In other news, Baidu, ticker BIDU, has a second listing IPO that has passed Hong Kong Stock Exchange listing hearing and will be filed under the HKEX. The Baidu share price is up 6.16% in pre-market. In other news, Assurant, ticker AIZ, has sold its prearranged funeral insurance business to CUNA Mutual Group for $1.3 billion. Assurant share price is up 0.31% in pre-market. One on Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker DKS. Company is set to open 6 new stores and 6 specialty concept stores in 2021, as well as relocate 11 existing locations. Dick's share price is down 9.25% in pre-market. News on Tesla, ticker TSLA. Sales in China are up 18% for them from January for February and ahead of the street expectations, according to Wedbush financial analysts. Analysts also stated that the company has strong trajectory into March. Tesla's share price is up 4.98% in pre-market. More EV news. We have XPeng, ticker XPEV, which announced this morning that it's set to deliver 12,500 vehicles in Q1, which would be a huge jump for them above the 2,223 cars the company delivered in February. NIO, ticker NIO, said earlier that its expectations to deliver between 20,000 and 25,000 units in the same period. Both XPeng and NIO plan to be listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange by as soon as this year. So XPeng share price is up 6.05% in pre-market, while NIO is up 4.77%. Lastly, for me, Anpac Biomedical Science, ticker ANPC, shares have doubled in pre-market this morning after the company announced a positive update on its new cancer detection sensor. The cost of the production of this technology is about 137% cheaper than it used to be in their former model, and the cancer detection sensitivity of the device reaches over 95% accuracy. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, you know, Jen, I break everything down into my alerts into sector-based news alerts and to event-based news alerts. That way I can spot those hot headlines and when they're actionable. You know, I look at my FANG alert, Apple, they're planning to cease making the new iMac Pros after the inventory runs out. You know, they just want to focus on production of their new release of the iMacs later this year. Totally makes sense. Google's going to be offering travel sites an option to list hotel rooms without ad charges, without any additional charge. So that's a positive sign that Google's trying to be more competitive and work with its competition in the travel segment. Netflix, the ticker NFLX, they're apparently in discussions to make a Netflix movie, take the Netflix movie, The Queen Gambit, into a musical. You know, there's money to be made when these producers want to turn these TV shows into musicals. So it's interesting to watch. We'll have to kind of watch for some developments there. My Dow Jones 30 alert. I just want to start off with Microsoft. The 30-day option implied volatility is flat at 31. Now, the option implied volatility is like the percentage movement of the stock, and when it's low, that's a good time to buy the stock, and it has a 52-week range of 23 to 90. So yeah, shares of Microsoft, implied volatility is low right now. Uh, Goldman Sachs is mulling a possible sale of its majority stake in Japan's Renewable Energy Corp. They're looking to attract about $2.5 billion off of the sale. Want to point out Disney holding its annual shareholders meeting today. Honeywell, that's ticker HON. They secured a $476 million contract with the Defense Department that was announced late last night. And Walgreens, that's ticker WBA. William Boy Apple, they have came out and they said that they've already administered 5 million COVID-19 vaccine shots. That's a pretty good number for them. And remember, these people, when they go in there to buy, to get a shot, they're typically picking up something else, and that increases the sales at Walgreens. I have an activist alert went off on ticker FE, Frank Edward. Carl Icahn is said to be seeking seats on First Energy's board. That's ticker FE. In Glazer Capital, they sent out a letter to the shareholders of QEP, Quinton Edward Paul, and they're strongly urging a vote against the acquisition by Diamondback. So we'll have to see what that does to shares of QEP this morning. And lastly, for the events going on today, DraftKings, ticker DKNG, they're holding an Investors Day today. So is CVX, that's Chevron, ticker Charlie Victor X-Ray, and Sono, that's ticker SONO, Sam Oscar Nancy Oscar. They're also having their virtual investor day today. Oftentimes, companies release some sort of hot market breaking news that can cause the stocks to run at these investors days. So they're worthwhile to put on your screen and pay attention to.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking Baidu, ticker BIDU. Just like we mentioned, they've got their second listing IPO that just passed into Hong Kong Stock Exchange. It's up 6.16% in pre-market. And keep in mind, too, that it really dropped yesterday. It went down. So it's got a ways to go up. And it's not unlikely to see that today. So this is one I'm interested in getting into and seeing some rise for today. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
United Foods, that's ticker UNFI, under Nancy Frank India. Really at the 31.50, a little lower than where it is today right now. This is an earnings play. Earnings are out tomorrow morning. I think it could run a little bit more into earnings. It's had a nice run so far. They've got that deal with Amazon that they renewed. Call put ratio is still positive going into it. Their recent debt refinancing will likely benefit their earnings when they come out. So yeah, I'm watching ticker UNFI today as my stock of the day.
Well, let's move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So looking at our newswire alerts, seeing all the headlines streaming in, Bill, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Well, let's start with Johnson & Johnson. Apparently, they're under stress to meet the European targets of delivering 55 million COVID-19 shots in the second quarter. NVIDIA, that's ticker NVDA. They announced, an AI enterprise software suite that should be beneficial to the shares of NVIDIA this morning. And I mentioned earlier that Chevron, ticker CVX, Charlie Victor X-Ray, is having their shareholder investor day today. Well, they just released a press release saying that they're reinforcing their plans to deliver higher returns and lower carbon. So that's kind of interesting for shares of Chevron this morning.
One on Walmart, ticker WMT. Looks like they're set to expand beyond meat product offerings at their stores. Starting this week, within approximately 2,400 locations, they're going to be adding Beyond Sausage and Hot Italian to their meat aisle, and it'll be happening in more than 400 stores, as well as expanding the frozen cookout classic value pack. That's Walmart, and that's also Beyond Meat. Check them out. It's ticker BYND.
Ticker XELA, X-Ray, Elvis, Larry, Apple. They just won a $90 million contract for for cloud hosting with PCH Global.
One on Fisker, ticker FSR. Fisker sees their fleet unit strength as companies strive for zero emission solutions. So basically, they passed 14,000 reservations for its Fisker Ocean SUV and boosted their interest and orders for the fleet.
Equifax, that's ticker EFX, Edward Frank X-Ray. They announced the acquisition of Higher Tech.
Chipotle, ticker CMG. They're launching a new product. They have a handcrafted quesadilla.
Here's a story. Amazon apparently is boosting its stake in ATSG, Apple Tom Sam Grace. That's all I got.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind you could receive these same breaking stories just like us simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Lastly, moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Monday. I had New Hold Investing, ticker NHIC, which opened at $10.48, but we waited until the stock lowered to $10.25, which it definitely did. It actually went even a little bit lower, $10.24, maybe $10.23, which it did by 11 a.m. And from there, the stock went back up to $10.37 by the market's close. However, in pre-market, it's been continuing to rise. It was at $10.70 earlier. Now it's down to $10.45, but still that's over 1% gain, 1.5% gain. So we did okay. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Well, I did Lowe's yesterday. That's ticker LOW, Larry Oscar William. You know, as I said, my picks are always based on solid fundamental data. They're designed to capture, a positive return within a short period of time on a catalyst type event. And Lowe's delivered. I mean, it delivered big time. It opened up at 159.74 and hit a high of 165.30. And it actually closed up $5.36 on the day at 163.94. Now, my target to get in was 158.25, and at the time I picked it, I was splitting the bid offer. So, it was there, when I was looking at it. But, when it started to run, there was no question with the way the market's winds were blowing that this thing was going to continue to rise. It was a great pick. It was, a big winner. It beat both on the percentage move and on the dollar move. So Lowe's was a really good home run.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. The traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.